Hey everyone, today we are breaking up our readings from the book of Ruth and the book of John that will start tomorrow, and we're going to be reading a psalm today. We're going to be in Psalm chapter 48, and it's a psalm all about declaring God's greatness. Right off the bat, in verse 1, we read this. How great is the Lord, how deserving of praise in the city of our God, which sits on his holy mountain. It is high and magnificent. The whole earth rejoices to see it. Mount Zion, the holy mountain, is the city of the great King. So we see that they're praising God for his greatness, but we also see that the author is bringing up this other place that they'll continue to reference throughout the entire psalm, and that is Mount Zion, or the mountain, or the city, or Jerusalem is what it's really talking about here. And so now a little bit of background on Mount Zion. Mount Zion was a physical place. It was a hill within Jerusalem, the city of Jerusalem. But it was also the place where the temple was built. So people went to worship God on Mount Zion, at the temple. And so Mount Zion was not only a physical place, but it also represented God's tangible presence. It was a place where God could be known and experienced. So as we continue to dive into this psalm, remember that this was a place that represented a place where God could be known and he could be experienced. So it was a picture of God's presence, his presence of safety and power. Now, towards the end of the psalm, the author introduces another way that the people praised God and remembered who he was. So in verse 12, we read this. Go, inspect the city of Jerusalem, walk around and count the many towers, take note of the fortified walls, and tour all the citadels, that you may describe them to future generations. They walked around this place, the mountain, and they noted how great it was, and it led them to the conclusion to praise God. And in verse 14, we read this. For that is what God is like. He is our God forever and ever, and he will guide us until we die. So here was this place, this city that represented God's presence, and walking around it and noticing how great it was led them to be reminded of God's tangible presence with them. So the people had their city, this holy place that reminded them of God's presence with them. But the question that I want to ask you today is, where is your mountain? Where is the place that you go that you are reminded of God's powerful presence with you? Yes, as followers of Jesus, we have the promise that God is with us. His presence is with us every single moment of every single day. But there are also marked places in each of our lives where I think that if we really thought about it, that those are reminders of how powerful, how great God is. So maybe it's a place where you're reminded of something that God did in your life, where he moved a mountain that you didn't think could be moved, and that place reminds you of where he delivered you from. Or maybe it is a literal mountain where you go up and you are reminded of just how small you are and how great God is. Or maybe it is a physical church building, a place where together as followers of Jesus, we go and we experience the presence of God and worship him with fellow believers. I want to encourage you today to find your mountain. Whether you know it already or whether you need to take some time to think about it, find a place or remember a place where you are reminded of the powerful presence of God. Because no matter what season, whether you're in a joyous season where things are going great, or a season where it's hard, you are needing to be reminded of God's faithfulness and his presence with you. These tangible reminders of physical places in our lives can serve so well to remind us of who God is and his presence with us. So today, find your mountain and praise God.
If these devotional videos are helpful to you, subscribe to our channel and click the notification button so you know when we post a new video. And of course, please share them with others.